Thank you to the KCD Orchestra for accompanying the procession this morning. Beautiful. Good morning. My name is Peter Eustace, and I proudly serve as head of school at Kentucky Country Day School. It is my distinct honor this morning to welcome all of our parents, our grandparents, our friends, our distinguished guests, our trustees, and of course, our hardworking faculty to the 2023 commencement exercises of Kentucky Country Day School. A very special welcome goes out this morning to the class of 2023. We're here to celebrate you today. There are so many things that I love about our school. I won't take the time this morning to go through an exhaustive list for you, but I will highlight one that might have the most meaning here today. I love the fact that we're a small school. Now admittedly, there are pros and cons to being a small school, but the fact that we're a small school means that we are able to focus on the relationships that are truly at the core of everything we do as a school. And what those relationships mean is that we've had the opportunity as a faculty to get to know the class of 2023. And what I can stand here this morning and tell you is that collectively and individually, this is a class that is going to go out into the world and make a difference. This is a group of young people that are going to go make our world a better place. And we could not be more proud of not just who they are, but what they represent. So let me be the first this morning of many to congratulate, and I ask you to join me in congratulating the class of 2023. One quick point of order before we get things started. I would ask you to take as many pictures as you would like and as you physically can. But I will ask that no one comes forward to block anyone else's view while doing so. Thank you. We will officially begin this morning's program with some remarks by two of the officers of the senior class. I would like to welcome to the podium Mr. Xavier Hayden and Ms. Cammie Willinger.
And I am Cammie Willinger. We are two of the senior class officers. We would first like to thank the head of school, Mr. Eustace, and all of the administrative staff, counselors, coaches, and directors for all of your support.
We would especially like to thank our teachers from lower school, middle, and upper school. You have expected excellence in the classroom and given us the time and tools necessary to accomplish just that. You work to lay the foundation for citizen, scholar, steward in each of us. To all of our friends, thanks for the memories. And to our families, without your love and support, we would not be here today. Thanks for all your sacrifices. We will forever be grateful.
And now to our classmates. KCD class of 2023. For some of us, our time together began at JK or kindergarten, and we remember presenting roses to the seniors, never imagining how quickly it would be our turn to receive those roses. We remember making friends, playing on the playground, figuring out how to balance a tray in the lunch line,
and clapping whenever someone failed and shouted theirs.
We had a blast during Explore More and double recesses, and even learned to be content with rest time.
That we beg for nowadays. By the time we got to middle school, we were expected to be more responsible.
Keyword, expected.
We took 3 languages, Spanish, French, and Latin, in 5th grade to determine which one of the 3 we would continue through middle school. We will never forget list dances, Mr. Willoughby's leaf and bird projects.
Favorite bird was obviously the tufted titmouse.
Mr. Pollitt's mini vocab exams, the Euro project, Pine Mountain, Monday meetings, and of course the 8th grade Endangered Species project.
Then life started to become a little more serious. We graduated from 8th grade and were ready for upper school. For independence, challenges, college prep, the great performances during X period, and the competitive Wild Kingdom days.
Even though we knew some of us would have to face the infamous freshman slide.
Selecting our schedules and determining our electives was a milestone. We were able and willing to express our individualism, and were encouraged and supported in our endeavors.
But then, just as we were wrapping up freshman year and looking forward to sophomore year with this coveted free periods, the unprecedented life-changing effects of COVID-19 hit. Life as we knew it changed overnight.
Lockdowns, quarantining, social distancing, isolations, KN95 masks, Drive-through testing and drive-by birthday wishes became everyday terms that we had neither used nor heard before.
The whole country came to a halt as the government at every level determined how best to protect us. KCD was far ahead of the game as they figured out how to get teachers, students, and administrators back into the building in a safe, productive, academically challenging, but also emotionally stable environment with outside classrooms.
Pretty sure some of us still haven't forgiven Ms. Herman for her diligence there.
Mandatory masks and Bearcat learning chairs. KCD proved how innovative and willing they were to meet unprecedented demands. We were able to return to 100% in-person classes in the fall, when most schools were still remote or hybrid learning.
We may never forget COVID challenges, but we should always remember and be proud of our resilience, flexibility, and determination to persevere and flourish in a new and ever-changing world.
By mid-junior year, we were anticipating senior privileges such as signing,
Having no idea how often those would be taken.
and finally parking in the senior line. Junior and senior year, we made awesome memories at proms, junior ring ceremony, and our final moments on the fields, courts, and stage.
As seniors, we proudly wore our sweatshirts, celebrated as we were honored on senior nights, and presented our graduation and honors presentations before taking our final walk on campus, our Rose Walk.
Today, for our final walk as seniors, our class can brag of our athletic accomplishments.
Even though we were really bad at pep rallies.
We have highly ranked teams and individual players in the region. Multiple teams have made it to and won state championships. We have great memories rocking out an orchestra, and the choir and art students have accumulated awards and accolades with their memorable performances and art pieces.
While these accomplishments are essential, our most valuable accomplishments are the people KCD has shaped us to be. We understand the importance of being productive citizens. It takes hard work, resilience, and compassion. As productive citizens, we not only need to have successful careers, we need to make a difference in our communities, in our families, and with our friends. By building strong relationships at KCD, we already have a network of people who will support and guide us, and who have helped us see the value of becoming not just productive citizens for personal gain, but also recognizing our responsibility to our communities locally and globally.
It takes determination to become exceptional scholars, and KCD has taught us to never give up.
Some of us kicking and screaming all the while.
This skill is more important than ever because as digital natives, we're an instant gratification generation. We hardly remember a time when we could not quickly look up on our phones or computers any information we may need.
Much to the chagrin of teachers who insisted that we would not always have access to Google.
We do not have to wait. Despite this, KCD has worked to teach us patience. Through long-term and group projects, we have benefited from hard work and determination, and have realized that sometimes a long-term accomplishment is worth it. We are determined scholars.
Finally, we have been given the opportunity to be good stewards with our time, talents, and money to continue the sense of stewardship throughout our lives. We must be willing to be flexible to accomplish this task, and as leaders to model good stewardship in all areas of our lives. Whether it is with people, communities, the environment, we recognize the significant role we play in leading by example. Through volunteering and the requirement of community service at KCD has modeled stewardship well and has given us a great example to follow. The world has many needs, and its resources are limited, but we are ready and prepared to make a difference.
And now our time at KCD comes to an end. We sit here surrounded by people who love us, reminiscing on a history that unites us, and anticipating a future so bright.
It's overwhelming. Some of us are crying, and I know some of us are not even paying attention. But we are still proud to be Bearcats. KCD, class of 2023, congratulations.
Thank you to Cammie and Xavier. Appreciate that. The class valedictorian is chosen from among the top 10% of the class in a selection process that considers both academic standing and the overall rigor of the elected course of study. It gives me great pleasure this morning to introduce our valedictorian, Mr. Daniel Prophet.
It is an honor being with all of you today, speaking as valedictorian. But it's also kind of insane that any of us are here today, or that this whole ceremony exists. Allow me to convince you with my theoretical alphabet soup experiment. And I know it sounds kind of insane, but I actually think about this a lot. So bear with me. To better understand everybody's culinary background before we begin, just with like a show of hands, who has had alphabet soup before? It's pretty impressive. Okay, well, for the unfortunately unaware, each can of alphabet soup contains around 100 noodles, each in the shape of a unique letter. And as letters do, these noodles vary in terms of curves or edges or other properties. But at the end of the day, they're all just noodles. They kind of just move around in my bowl like a bouncing DVD logo across the screen. Or, depending on what letters I have, an element of P logo. But back to the experiment. Obtain 1 sexagentillion alphabet soup cans, which is a lie, by the way. Next, ignite equally unimaginably gargantuan 100 novendectillion pounds of TNT in the conglomerate soup mixture, and set a timer to wait for a few billion years. Obviously, our soup would still be soup, right? Maybe just a little bit warmer or a bit better mixed. No. We return to discover sextillions of nuclear reacting alphabet soup stars, obviously. And orbiting around one of these stars is a planet entirely composed of alphabet soup. And within the soup-filled waters of this planet, the most incredible event has taken place. From nothing more than the random movements and tides of the water, a specific arrangement of letters have come together. And these letters, though merely letters, possess unique geometry that enables them to form more strings of letters identical to themselves when they collide with other floating noodles. In other words, we have self-replicating noodles. And through countless refinements involving random additions and subtractions of letters, soup letters have transformed into something infinitely more remarkable. Soup life. After billions of years and hundreds of octillions of generations, every movement and decision ever made by any of these creatures, a specific collection of thinking, conscious, and extraordinary alphabet soup beings exist. And here we are today, celebrating the citizenly, scholarly, and stewardly achievements of alphabet soup students. It's almost painful to attempt to understand how unbelievable it is that we exist. That we are creatures made of nothing more than alphabet soup. Letters can't reason or think or feel or imagine or believe, but somehow we can. I remember thinking about this whole concept a few months back at our cultural fair. We are a small private school situated in a state that ranks 43rd out of 50 for diversity. Yet as I wandered among the booths arranged by KCD students and parents, I was amazed. Our graduating class of 75 students represents cultures and ideologies from around the world, encompassing dozens of countries in every continent except for one. And even though no penguin walks across the stage today, I imagine even they would be impressed by our ability to form such a diverse yet connected class. Because even though individually we're just alphabet soup, together we become so much more than the letters which compose us. We give standing ovations as actors take their final bow, and storm courts after crushing our opponents. We cheer as the next Mario Kart match is announced. And we hold our breath as our loud everyday representative struggles to twerk ping pong balls out of their tissue box. In our class, we have virtuosic musicians, actors, and artists. We have star athletes, mathletes, and scarily impressive engineers. And most poetically of all, we have scientists who are made of noodles, who attempt to better understand the soup which unknowingly brought us all into existence. Because at the end of the day, everything coexists as a large soup. We form as a string of noodles just as the first iterations of life did. And while we are all somehow here, let us never underestimate the significance of our individual journeys. As we navigate through the vastness of this alphabet soup universe, each of us has a unique role to play. Whether it's postponing the expiration date of noodles, or discovering a new ingredient, or maybe adding a little bit of flavor, we each have the power to make a permanent impact on our soup. Just like the letters that collide to form intricate patterns, our actions and choices shape the course of our lives, the lives of those around us, and the fate of our perpetual stew. Because when future entities 10, 100, or a million years down the line observe the world around them, Everything they have and experience will be determined by us. We are not mere bystanders in this cosmic broth. We are active participants. As we stand here today, let us embrace the boundless potential of our existence. Let us go forth with the determination to make a mark on this universe, leaving a legacy that will forever inspire future generations. May we forever revel in the wonder of our existence and the limitless possibilities which have yet to occur. And maybe next time, while you are enjoying a nice warm bowl of alphabet soup, swirl it around with your spoon a little bit. If you create any super galactic life forms or universes, or are just relishing the moment, send me a message, send me a DM. I promise I'll do the same. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2021.
So I mentioned earlier how much the relationships we build with these young people mean. One of the other things I love that comes from those relationships is that we tend to learn a lot when we spend time with the class of 2023. And while I was listening to Daniel, we have completely redone our marketing plan at KCD while I read the alphabet soup. So thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. That was great. Before we confer some more individual awards, I'd like to recognize the 9 students who completed the KCD Honors Program over 2 years and completed at least 75 hours of community service. Could those students please stand and be recognized? Next, 5 seniors are the first at KCD to complete the requirements for the STEAM certificate, which includes independent project-based learning, additional community service, and approval by a faculty panel. Would those 5 students please stand and be recognized? The Cum Laude Society allows us to induct up to 20% of the senior class based on academic standing. I would like to ask the 15 seniors who were inducted into the Cum Laude Society earlier this week to stand and be recognized. We will now present student awards, and I'm glad to be joined on stage for our presentation of the Chair Award by our Board Chair, Mr. Hank Alford.
Good morning. It's okay to respond. Good morning. All right, that's better. It is an honor and privilege to serve as the Board Chair at Country Day, and so it is an honor to provide or to award the Chair Awards this year. The Chair Award is given to seniors who, in the opinion of the faculty, show a marked development of academic interest, concern for the school, and moral leadership. There are 4 awards that I will give out this morning. The first goes to Lanesha Ager. The second award to Drew Collis. The third to Liba Asur. And the final award to Nadia Nasser.
The Headmaster's Award goes to the seniors who, in the opinion of the faculty, best exemplify the standards, attitude, and scholarship of KCD. I would like to honor two students with the 2023 Headmasters Award, beginning with Ms. Megan DeLand. And the second Headmasters Award goes to Mr. Hugh Conferring.
Good morning, everyone. Good job. This year, the class of 2023 voted for a faculty member to speak at the commencement. This year's chosen speaker is Dr. Danielle Picken. Dr. Picken earned her BA in English and History from Centre College and her MA and PhD in British History from the University of Kentucky. Dr. Picken joined KCD in 2016, first working in the development office before joining the upper school faculty as a full-time history teacher for 2 years. Danielle is a passionate teacher, an enthusiastic learner, and a generous colleague. Students love her sense of humor, fairness, and providing her with dozens of baby names every week. There is a due date of June 16th. Please welcome to the podium, Dr. Danielle Picken.
Hello, fellow faculty members, the graduates of the class of 2023, their families, and their friends. I'm not known for brevity, but I'm going to try to keep it short because, as Mr. Burns said, I'm a couple weeks from my due date, and every minute that I'm up here just increases my risk of giving birth on stage. I've had a lot of stress dreams about that, and based on the number of doctors I know are in the audience, I'm in a safe place, but still, we don't need that every day. So I wanted to start by thanking you all for asking me to speak to you today. I'm so honored to get to talk to you all and celebrate your accomplishments. You all persevered through legitimately insane challenges in your time at KCD. You survived remote learning, the awkwardness of breakout rooms on Google Meet, trying to eat lunch in a Bearcat learning chair while being attacked by bees, and some of you even managed to figure out how to flirt with each other while wearing face masks. Just think of the level of determination that takes. If you all can handle that stuff on top of getting good grades and maintaining friendships and all the normal difficulties that the rest of us dealt with in high school, then I have no doubt you can truly do anything. Aside from those accomplishments, you, class of 2023, have a special place in my heart as the first class of U.S. history students that I taught at KCD. You were so engaged and encouraging, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciated your kindness last year. I know I speak for all of your teachers when I say that we couldn't be more proud of everything that you've accomplished at KCD. You all are truly the best, and you're going to be greatly missed. While I'm incredibly humbled to speak to you guys today, I don't actually feel remotely qualified to give your graduation speech. I'm not famous, I'm not talented in anything except the occasional history-related Jeopardy category, so the imposter syndrome I feel up here is intense. But I said yes because I've learned that those feelings of self-doubt and discomfort will accompany most big transitions or opportunities in your life, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do them. I thought a lot about what advice I do feel qualified to give you as a high school history teacher, and there's not much except never to start a war on two fronts, but there are 3 lessons I've learned that I think can be useful in your life. And the first one is to lean into discomfort and self-doubt when you're faced with something new. That self-doubt creeps in when you're starting a job, when you're taking on a new leadership position, or even sitting in your first college class here in a couple months. But one of the secret truths of adulthood is that regardless of our age, most of us imagine ourselves more or less as 18-year-olds, like you, just in older people's bodies, hoping that nobody notices that we don't have a clue what we're actually doing. You mostly just kind of wing it, sort of scared, until you find out you were qualified to do that thing after all, hopefully. Your teachers, coaches, and families have tried really hard over your time in high school to help you find your voice and gain the confidence to use it. We've invested time in you because we know you're worthy of it, and you've demonstrated that confidence. by speaking up in class, leading clubs, acting in plays, making insanely creative pieces in the Fab Lab or art studios. So say yes to the scary things, professional ones, not legal scary things, because the imposter syndrome is often a really good sign that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Plus, feeling out of your depth is a very normal part of adulthood, it turns out. The second lesson that I want to impart to you, I learned from the bottom of my grandfather's toilet bowl. To explain what I mean, let's go back a few years, shall we? I'm 26, and while all my friends have graduated law school, or business school, or are finding cool jobs, or getting married, I'm working on my PhD, and I'm cleaning my grandfather's toilet and the rest of his house for extra money because I'm that poor. It hadn't started this way. When I was sitting in your seat at my high school graduation, I wanted to go to college, then get a PhD in British history and write books. In college, that goal became an obsession, where I felt like I had to have the highest grade in class to be successful. And I became addicted to academic praise as proof that I belonged in that profession. My academic accomplishments paid off, but I didn't feel like I made it when I started my graduate program. Instead, I was more crippled than ever by fear of failure. The competition was more intense and the work was self-directed, so the praise that I'd come to rely on was infrequent and harder to get. And if that wasn't keeping me going, it definitely wasn't the money. I was never attracted to being a historian for the salary. I wrote my dissertation on the history of the London Underground subway, so like even I knew no one should get paid for that contribution to society. But I had no idea how poor I would be as a grad student. Getting a PhD when I've been in your shoes had seemed like this prestigious, important thing that I could do with this passion I had. But I felt permanently stuck in student mode, and I made just enough teaching so as not to qualify for food stamps. So I had to do stuff like clean my grandparents' house to make ends meet. I was thankful for the work, but believe me, nothing will make you question your life decisions like cleaning the inside of your grandfather's toilet. Nothing. However, I realized staring down the toilet bowl that the struggle was still worth it. Not for the praise or the accolades, and definitely not for the money, but because it made me happy. Not the toilet cleaning, that part was terrible. But I loved what I researched, and I felt a real sense of purpose and connection teaching students. I made incredible, lasting friendships with my classmates. I got to travel to England a lot. It was a dream. You are graduating today from the best school in the state, and your diploma represents an extraordinary amount of hard work and sacrifice on your part. You will all be wildly successful one day. But don't forget that while financial and professional success can be determinants of happiness, they are not the only ones. I learned from that toilet bowl that sometimes, in order to be happy, you have to redefine what success looks like for you. Chasing success just for the sake of being successful doesn't really sustain you, and it's not a guarantee you'll actually be happy. Maybe you're sitting here today absolutely certain that being a college athlete, or a doctor, or a lawyer, or an artist is the thing that's gonna make you happy and successful in life. And it might, but it's okay to change your mind. Whatever you decide to do, it's all part of your journey, and you'll carry that with you even if you don't end up on the exact path that you're envisioning in this moment. Sitting in your seat, I didn't see this journey for myself, but I've never been happier than I am as a high school teacher. Now I measure success in the quality of relationships that I have with you all, my fellow faculty, and in how often I laugh at work, which is every day. I don't know if you all realize what a joy your presence is, and how thrilling it is for your teachers to connect with you and watch you all learn. The last lesson I want to share is one I learned by sucking at swimming. I didn't drown, I can swim. I'm a good swimmer, but I'm not a great swimmer. But I swam competitively for 12 years. I loved it, but I was terrible, and I'm not being humble. In my senior year of high school, in my low-stakes neighborhood swim league, I didn't qualify for a single event in our final championship conference. All my friends did, but it weirdly didn't bother me because what I'd found over those dozen years is that the friendships I made with my teammates and coaches were the real reason I got out of bed to jump in a freezing cold pool at 7 a.m. every morning. I loved coming up with cheers, planning costume themes for meets, giving pep talks to the younger swimmers. I designed merchandise for us because I had that much pride in this thing that I sucked at. And another life lesson is like, if you're gonna lose, you should look good doing it. But I didn't win a single first heat race in my senior season, but I got the Heart of the Team award at the end of that summer, and I felt more joy from what that award represented than I ever would have from actually winning a race, I think. Was I successful? God, no. But I was happy because I'd found a community in my teammates, many of whom are still my closest friends 20 years later. I was reminded of that lesson about community while looking at my professors' bookshelves in grad school. In meetings with my professors, my eyes would often wander to the bookshelves behind them. They were overflowing with books, many of which they had written themselves. But only a few of my professors actually had family pictures or mementos from trips or like any sign of a hobby, anything scattered along the shelves. And I realized that many of them, they'd gone to Ivy League schools, they'd written pivotal books in their fields, but they'd been so focused on this particular vision of success that they'd let the rest of their lives pass them by. Many of them were nearing retirement without families or good friends or anything outside of their work. I loved this work, but I wanted my bookshelf to represent me beyond my degree. I'm not saying I couldn't have had both, but I realized I'd had my priorities in the wrong order when I thought about what I really wanted for myself. This wasn't actually what I wanted my life to look like, but I still couldn't let go of this vision of success that I had defined back in high school. What would people say? What if I let somebody down? So instead, I just kind of froze for a little while, and I became a professional at something I call productive procrastination. Maybe you're familiar with it, but you avoid the thing you're supposed to be working on by doing something that's productive but not actually important, so you get that like sense of accomplishment. So my rock bottom was when the week before a dissertation chapter was due, I polished all the jewelry in my house, and I researched how to take old candles where like the wick has burned out, but there's still wax in there, and you can repot them with new wick to reuse the candle. So I did that to all my a lot of candles. Had I written anything in that time? No, but my house smelled great. But eventually, I ran out of candles to repot, and I decided to finish my PhD, but not actually apply for a single job as a professor. Some people couldn't understand why would I walk away from my dream now that I was finally about to achieve it. But here's what I learned pursuing that dream. It's cool to make it to the mountaintop of whatever big goal you've been chasing, but there's not actually that much to do up there by yourself. It's lonely up there. I knew that even if I had no clue what I wanted to do next, I'd be happier living in the world than just studying it. My last year of grad school, I met my husband on a blind date set up by a friend who was a teacher at KCD. He worked at KCD too. Still does, he's over there. Meeting here, you confirmed that the world outside of academia was very much worth living in. He had been at KCD a few years at this point, and he spoke so highly of this community that I ended up applying for and getting a job in development, something I knew literally nothing about. My coworkers can tell you, but I had remarkable, supportive coworkers who became close friends, and I am forever grateful for them. That choice led me here today, and my husband was right. This community is amazing. When we ask you all what you like most about this place, you almost all say the relationships with coaches and teachers and friends. And I think we take this for granted at KCD, but it takes a lot of work to have something this special, a real community. Your loved ones sitting here have contributed to this community too. They sent you here because they want you to have the best possible chance to succeed and be happy. This room is filled with people who are so deeply invested in your happiness that they've made enormous sacrifices for it. Thanks to the community in this room and to your hard work and sacrifice, you guys are all set to succeed after you leave this place. Stay connected to the people who got you here. You learned how to actually talk to adults in non-awkward ways like they're real people here. Do that in college. Talk to your college professors, even in big lecture halls. Get to know other students. Get involved outside of your classes and your work. But don't forget, as you're chasing your dreams, that you get to decide what success looks like for you. Push through feelings of imposter syndrome because you're worthy of every opportunity that comes your way. But success with no one to share it with isn't really worth that much, so remember to live in the world and don't just study it. Also, call your families when you go to college, okay? Congratulations, class of 2023. This community is so proud of you.
I would like to ask Mr. Martin to come to the podium and begin conferring the diplomas for the class of 2023.
Daniel Alexander Bronfman. Carter Russell Brown. Sarah Elizabeth Burns. Ashley Silgi Cho. Maya Renee Collins. Andrew Stanley Collis. Kylie Elise Cox. William Blakely Crockett. Megan Marie Deland. Scott Michael Deland. Smira Ahmed Duvedi. Kaylee Michelle Farnsley. Jacob Edward Feiga. Cecilia Elizabeth Fogarty. Georgia Claire Gilmore. Benjamin Alex Greenberg. Ethan Scott Halls. Natalie Sarah Hayden. Xavier Will Hayden. Jacob Harris Herbstreit. William Landis J. Ryan Reeves Johnson. Robert Holden Jones. Samuel Thomas Canale. Alexis Sade Bell King. Kenneth David King. Hugh Thomas Kuffner. Lily Claire Latson. Jack Ryan Leakitz. William Allen Liggett. McKenna Mullen Mack. Monica Graciela Mahoney. Jeffrey Andrew Manka Jr. Kira Taylor Malicki. Liba Mazrur. Isaac Oliver Mathis. Zohair Nadine Mia. Jaden Ashley Michael. Maddox Rudy Miller. Olivia Grace Miller. Nadia Imran Nasser. Anoop Singh Pandey. Anna Isabella Parton. Roderick Vaughn Purdy. Joel Aquile Coco Quay. Kenza Ali Raza. Marissa Jane Reed. Liana Shewa Renard. Richard Scott Rivera. Matthew Joseph Robertson. Nathaniel O'Brien Rose. Rex Thomas Rumpke. Tala Sophia Saab. Ilana Rose Saltzman. Chase Alexander Savage. Iman Saeed. Haley Noel Shonegi. Shirini McCool Shah. Chloe Elizabeth Shea. Avani Adarsh Single. Mary Grace Smith. Jack Mansfield Staggio. Max Riley Stuckey. Alex Parker Thompson. Camille Leon Renee Willinger. Antoine Lamar Werlo Jr. Peter William Zhang.